The following is a presentation of UFF Sports and the Ultimate Fantasy Sports Network. Under the bright lights, it's the Monday night main event game of the week in the American Football Legends League. 10-star running backs Jim Brown and Bo Jackson lead Valhalla to their first victory. Will the dynamic tandem of Tony Gonzalez and LaDainian Tomlinson get Heroes FC back into the win column? We wrap up week 4 right now. It's the AFLL Game of the Week, Valhalla versus Heroes FC on the Ultimate Fantasy Sports Network. Welcome, everyone, to the Game of the Week as we wrap up Week 4 in the American Football Legends League. I'm Andy McNamara, Head of Football Operations, alongside Dan Esposito, former NFLer, NFL Alumni Board member, and owner of Heroes FC. Now, Dan, the tricky thing with today's game is usually, of course, you do a tremendous job as my color analyst, but you're playing this game today.
I am. I'm coaching today. That's why I've got my Bill Belichick inspired hoodie on. I got to run down as soon as we're done here and coach my team up today.
That is a sharp shirt as well. I do like that. And so, yeah, Dan is going to be coaching Heroes FC. So he's going to jump back on at the end of the game after that and go from there. And then we'll get back to usual the following week. So we have a great one. Valhalla looking for their first win versus Heroes FC, who is 1-2 right now. So we'll see how that all plays out. But Dan, what are the keys to the game? An expose that you have an extra interest in.
I do. So today's a really important matchup. So a couple teams that need a win. They need a win badly. And Espo say the keys to today's game is going to come down to who can run the ball and manage the clock the best. Jim Brown is the leading rusher in the AFLL with 238 yards. So far this season, and rushing yards are tough to come by with the stout defenses in the AFLL, and Jim is leading the way. On the other side of the ball, on the Heroes side of the ball, is LaDainian Tomlinson with just 89 yards through 3 games. So want to know if Heroes FC can get their ground game going, or are they going to have to rely on the arm of Steve Young, who has had some trouble staying upright in the last couple contests. Tony Gonzalez is the Heroes' leading receiver with 279 yards, but just 1 touchdown through 3 games, while Valhalla relies on Jim Brown as its top receiving option. So he's not only a running back threat, but also their top wide receiver. So the key to today's game, Espo say, is who can control the ball the best.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you have to look at as well, with the Heroes FC, rather, you have Tim Brown and Tony Gonzalez, and also Valhalla has Bo Jackson, who I don't know if he's been utilized enough with that amount of talent. So it's an interesting way in the AFLL how you balance and set all these stars, because of course, Bo Jackson any era would be a starter, but he's behind Jim Brown.
Yeah, Jim Brown is to me, the greatest running back of all time is Bo Jackson, right? Shortened career, the most athletic, the strongest, the most physically gifted player to maybe ever play in the NFL. So yeah, they are. It's a problem of riches there. They have too much talent in the backfield, and it's. I look at their wide receiving core, and I think the Heroes' defensive backs can match up pretty well. But that running back committee that they have there is going to be a tough matchup for our linebackers and defensive line.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Dan, we're going to let you get upstairs and get coaching Heroes FC. We'll check back in with you at the end of the game. Also, special halftime guest, former NFLer, one of the top Jacksonville Jaguars of all time, Aaron Beasley will be my halftime guest, so stay tuned for that. Dan, we'll catch up with you in a little bit.
Okay, root for me.
Welcome, everybody. Game of the week. It is time for the main event. Monday night American Football Legend League action. Heroes FC will kick off to Valhalla to start this thing up. And here we go. A rare kickoff return. Baldwin hustling to the 15-yard line. and he's brought down. For Valhalla, the offense, it is formidable. Michael Vick at quarterback. Of course, the running backs, the great Jim Brown, who picks up 2. Lead blocker for him, Bo Jackson. What a depth chart. Bo Jackson and Jim Brown. Are you kidding me? Out of the I formation now. Jim Brown, leading rusher, entering week 4 in the American Football Legends League. To the right side. Finds a hole. Gashes. Comes back to the middle on the 20. Short of the first down, but some chunk gains. Offensive line for Valhalla. Left tackle Dan Deerdorf. Then Forrest Gregg, Jim Parker, Tyler Columbus, and Art Shell. Out of the shotgun. Brown on the right hip of Vick. Waits. Slings it to the right side. Complete to Greg Olson for the first down, and the chains get moving. Doug Baldwin, Paul Warfield, Hines Ward, Gary Clark, Webster Slaughter, the available receivers for Valhalla. Greg Olson, as you just saw, at tight end. Defensive line adjustment for Heroes, moving to that left side. Vick waits, sees coverage. Great breakup by the safety crew of Heroes FC, Brian Dawkins and Joey Browner, who are behind a formidable linebacker crew of Cornelius Bennett, Dick Buckus, and Carl Mecklenburg. Vick, 7-step drop, heat's coming. Gets rivet to the left. Greg Olson sheds 1 tackler, pickup of 12. And it's a first down for Valhalla, who are looking for their first victory of this AFLL season. Heroes FC sits at 1-2. Drops back again. Vick surveying. Heat coming. Over the top. It's deep. It's up, and it's broken up. Joey Browner. Those safeties for Heroes doing a great job early. And we'll see what Valhalla comes back with. Remember, folks, follow us on social media, on Twitter at the AFLL and Instagram at the UFAFL. Jim Brown ran into Bo Jackson. Would have picked up more, had some space. A gain of about 1 as they approach midfield. 3rd and 9. 3 wide receiver set, triplets on the left. Lone running back is Jim Brown. Hands to Brown, and Bubba Smith absolutely blasted past Jim Parker and made that into a 4th down. Reggie Roby punting for Valhalla, and it will drop and just roll into the end zone. So now it's our first look at Heroes FC's offense. Steve Young, Super Bowl winner, of course, great 49ers quarterback. In the backfield, Damian Tomlinson, blocking for him, John Riggins. Offensive line, John Alt, Randall McDaniel, Bart Oates, Steve Wisniewski, and Charlie Cohen at right tackle. Out of the I formation to start. Riggins up front, Tomlinson behind him. Tomlinson slides to the left, gain of about 1, I'd say. London Fletcher, you see, with the tackle for loss. A Studley linebacking core for Valhalla. Bill Romanowski acquired in a trade. London Fletcher and Keith Bullock. Fires to the outside. Did he get it inbounds? He did not. 3rd and 7. Wide receivers for Heroes, Tim Brown. What a pickup. Tim Brown, Raymond Berry, Pete Pios, Mike Quick, Jamal Charles, who's doing some duty on the running back side. And Gonzalez, of course, the team captain, stopped short. Gain of 4, but not enough to move the chains, and they will be forced to punt. And it will be Matt Turk from their own 27. There should be some good field position for Valhalla. At the 15, receiving it, Cam Chancellor. Chancellor broke 1 tackle, not a second. Valhalla goes back to it. No score. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. You can find me on Twitter at AndyMC81, Instagram at AndyMCSports. Follow all the AFLL action, and Jim Brown stopped by the great Cornelius Bennett, sliding in from that linebacker spot. For Heroes FC, Eric Allen and Mel Blunt at cornerback. And they might get tested here. Triplet wide receiver set to the left. Linebackers adjusting on Heroes FC up top. A pitch to Jim Brown. Jim Brown, 1 tackle, 2 tackles, misses, and Jim Brown makes a loss into a gain of 9. And that's why he's the greatest running back, arguably, of all time. I might be biased. I did meet him in person a few years ago. Great man. Third and 1. Michael Vick spun around and it's swatted down on play action, but Heroes FC came hard with that pass rush right away and to anticipate possibly that run. So it will be a punt, a 3 and out. Reggie Roby again. And he'll give it that boot. And the punt block, so no returner going aggressive. And that ball, is it? Oh, rolls, trickles into the end zone. Luckily for Heroes FC, as they will pick up the ball and start this drive at their own 20, looking for the first score of the ball game. For Valhalla, defensive line, Keith Millard, Chris Long, Dexter Manley, Manny Fernandez.
Check.
Audible call by Young, saw something he didn't like. Young, whoa, Young and Bullock meet face to face, and Keith Bullock sends him down for the sack. 2nd and 17, a loss of 7. Look at Bullock. Bullock right in the huddle, taunting. Spread formation. Tomlinson as the lone running back. Tim Brown and Barry, the wideouts. Don't forget about Tony Gonzalez, of course. Hall of Fame tight end. Really revolutionized that tight end spot. Chips it to the outside. The Ben Coates, the second tight end, picked up a couple, 3rd and very long, at their own 15. Doubling up on the wide receivers on the left. Young waits, has time. Over the top to the left, and it is complete to Tim Brown, but 3 yards short of the first down, and they will be forced to punt. Matt Turk, again, is out there. The punter's busy so far in this game of the week. There's Cam Chancellor. To the left side. Holds on to the ball. Some of the nastiest hits we see in the AFLL are on special teams. No injuries though, folks. You get to see the best of all time at their prime, in their best all the time. High formation. And made a miss. Doug Baldwin right over the top. Baldwin down the sideline. And he is pushed hard to the outside. Mike Vick raising the roof, pounding the chest as Doug Baldwin blew by Eric Allen off the press man, and he was able to make a huge gain. Now it is a first down at the 25 in Heroes territory. 52-yard gain there by Doug Baldwin. What a catch and run. Mike Vick going end zone, deep double coverage, touchdown! Webster Slaughter, the Cleveland Brown great, hauls it in through double coverage, getting past Dawkins and Browner for the major. And Valhalla strikes first. And Phil Dawson, interesting, a lot of former Cleveland Browns on this Valhalla team. Phil Dawson was such a tremendous kicker for so long. Webster Slaughter, of course, Jim Brown. Paul Warfield as well. 7-0 after the PAT for Valhalla. And that ball is booted out of the end zone for the touchback. See what Heroes FC responds to. Rest of the defense for Valhalla. Keeb Talib at corner. Charlie Waters on the outside. Cam Chancellor up top and Ken Riley at safety. Out of the pistol, Tomlinson behind Young. Steps back. Chip shot to the right, complete to Pios. And it's a gain to 3. From their own 28. Steve Young, perfect so far, completion percentage-wise, 5 of 5. Look to maybe have some more chunk gains here. Young standing tall in the pocket, going for it, and it is incomplete. Was trying to go and yet saw Chancellor come over to help Talib. That is a heck of a double-team combo to throw up against. 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the left. Barry, lone wideout. And actually, they moved Charles over to that right side. Jamal Charles coming up. Tomlinson to the right of Young. Waiting. Right over the middle. Connects to Tomlinson, who scooted back. Nice play, 4th and 1. Does Hero FC go for it, or are they going to punt? a terrific connection right over the middle and so close, and they are going to go for it. Heroes FC and my broadcast partner Dan Esposito being aggressive. Tomlinson in the backfield. Young is going to throw. There's pressure, and it is incomplete. Incomplete, looking for Mike Quick, who's been a phenomenal acquisition for Heroes FC. When you have names like Tim Brown, Tony Gonzalez, you might forget about a guy like Mike Quick, but he has been a huge contributor for Heroes FC this season. Valhalla now takes over. And that ball just straight up missed, just completely inaccurate by Mike Vick, who was looking for Bo Jackson, and it is incomplete. Brings up second down. Going to running back set. A pair of tight ends as well. The one receiver will be Doug Baldwin. From the Heroes 40 or 35, Jim Brown makes one man missing, two, a gain of 9. Jim Brown putting that big old shoulder down like you saw so many times back in the 50s and 60s. 3rd and 1 out of the eye. It's incredible that Bo Jackson is really just being used as a blocker with all that talent, but that is the level of talent in the AFLL. And Jim Brown went to that. He didn't get it. Or did he? His tackle for loss, I think he got that first down. Greg Lloyd, that 4th linebacker coming up. Yeah, they did get it. They did give it to him. Just got there on that right side. Vick with the play action. Surveying the field. Not a lot of time. Thrown up. Oh, nearly intercepted. Oh, Brian Dawkins was looking at that one. There's a reason sometimes these defensive backs are not receivers. Sometimes the hands. That would have been a nice interception for Heroes FC. There's Valhalla. 3 wideouts, 2 on the wide right. Baldwin, the lone one on the left. And it's going to go to Jim Brown anyway, who is speared, but carried actually 2 yards forward. That forward momentum of that huge body of Jim Brown. So much force. It's 3rd and 1. Baldwin and Clark. The receivers on the left. Heroes linebacker court. Adjusting twice now. Really going heavy on that left side, it looks like. Trying to tee up for that run. And Brown goes to the right. Butkus read it like a book. Goes over and tackle for loss. Dick Butkus. You could feel that just like you did back when he played. And the field goal is good for 33 yards. Phil Dawson. 10-0 Valhalla. 3:12 to go in the first quarter. Reminder, folks, halftime guest Aaron Beasley, former NFLer and all-time top 20 Jacksonville Jaguar great. You don't want to miss this. A very entertaining about football, about his coaching, and also about what he's streaming on Netflix. It was a fun chat. We're going to have to make sure to circle back with Aaron Beasley as well later on in the season, but don't miss that at halftime here. Steve Young, drop back pressure coming. Steve Young gobbled up. He just got that ball away. Just on the way down, Young got the ball away. Chris Long got to him. See the stats on the screen for Young. Looking for some deep ball, some chunk gains. Left side, Gonzalez. Money with those hands. A gain of 4. Now 3rd and 6. Under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Tomlinson in the backfield. Tim Brown, Pijos on the left. Raymond Berry on the right. Young waits, has... Oh, it's intercepted. He had a man in the flat, but I intercepted London Fletcher. London Fletcher with the INT, and it is Valhalla ball. It looked like Heroes FC was starting to get into a groove, and then London Fletcher comes back, and that's what's so amazing with the AFLL, folks. It's you have these all-time great scenarios, these dream matchups, these what-ifs. Everybody's good. Everybody's great. And you see how that plays out. Oh, and Jim Brown. Oh, Bubba Smith. Not even Brown gets all of them. Bubba Smith with another tackle for loss. He's having a great ball game. really flooding that middle of the offensive line. Forrest Gregg and Jim Parker for Heroes FC. Hands back to Brown on the right side. And another tackle, keeping Brown right at that line of scrimmage. Heroes FC has to watch for that deep ball from Vic. 4 wideouts. Brown in the backfield. Moving into man coverage, it looks like, for Heroes' defense. Baldwin on the left. Pitch to Brown. Brown has some room. 1-man miss. 2-man miss. Are you kidding me? Jim Brown with a gain of 15. Stiff-arming, shoulder barreling his way to move those chains. Wow. I thought for sure that would be a punt. 44 yards already for Jim Brown. Went right back to that ground game. And you see Cornelius Bennett getting involved and sliding over for no gain. Spread formation. Big 7-step drop. Looks, waits. To the left, right by that first down marker. And yes, a first down right on 10. Right on 10 yards. The officials check and the chains will move. Doug Baldwin, who had that TD earlier. That 52-yarder. Michael Vick, never going to have the highest completion percentage, but he can get the job done. He's doing it right now. 10-0 Valhalla. Pressure coming. Vick hit. And Jim Brown. And Jim Brown gets, is that in? Is that in? It is in. Jim Brown. After Vick was almost sacked, got the ball away, and then Jim Brown just barreled his way through. Unbelievable. Jim Brown with the TD after Michael Vick just got smoked. And the PAT from Phil Dawson is good. And there were a couple unbelievable plays there. 17-0 for Valhalla over Heroes FC. It's probably a good thing Dan is not on the broadcast with me right now. We try to be a family show in the language I assume would not be that great. Into the end zone, and it is a touchback. That was a heck of a play, folks. Wow. Jim Brown, of course, for those of you who don't know, Syracuse University, and is considered, to this day, the greatest collegiate lacrosse player of all time. That's probably a little tougher to track than the football side, but he was a heck of a lacrosse player. Now it's Heroes FC. Nice chunk gain for Tomlinson, but there is a face mask call on the defense, so that's okay for them. They'll keep that ball moving. 1st and 10. Tomlinson gained about 5 on that last play. They expected the penalty out of the eye. Went with Riggins. Little fullback smash to the right. Couldn't get by Manny Fernandez. 2nd down. Ball on their own 39. 3 wide out set. Give him to Tomlinson. And the lead blocker could not do the job. Keith Bullock bullying his way for another tackle for a loss. Keith Bullock, London Fletcher. This defense has been all about the linebackers for Valhalla. 3rd and 12. Young out of the shotgun. Tomlinson on his right hip.
Mississippi. Hike.
Sees something he doesn't like, makes the change. Heat coming. Sideline, tiptoeing. There's Mike Quick. Mike Quick gets out of bounds, grabs 15, and keeps the drive alive. That's what I mentioned before, folks. Mike Quick, you forget about him sometimes with Tim Brown, Tony Gonzalez on this team at receiver. But Mike Quick has been a staple of this Heroes offense this young season. We finish already the quarter point.
Check 32.
Out of the pistol. Going to the right sideline now to Peels. And he makes a tackler miss. Got past Charlie Waters. Little Texas two-step to get the first down. And Heroes FC starting to march as we are in the 2nd quarter here. 12:40 to go. Remember, halftime show is with Aaron Beasley. Stay tuned for that. Going to the left side. Back and forth. Mike Quick again. So Steve Young alternating those quick out passes on the left and on the right and finding some success against the Valhalla defense. 2nd and 7 from the Valhalla 28 out of the pistol. Hands to Tomlinson. He'll rack up 5. 3rd and 5 here. And we're seeing a lot of pressure from the linebackers for Valhalla. We'll see what Steve Young tries to do here. He's going deep. Corner to the end zone, and it is just out of bounds. Just out of bounds. Tremendous double coverage catch. Tony Gonzalez with those big mitts, boxing out like he did so well to get him into the Hall of Fame. 1st and goal. I formation. John Riggins, the lead blocker. Tomlinson behind him, going to Riggins, and he is kept out of the end zone at the, half-yard line? They say the 2. We're closer than that. 2nd and goal on the 2. Again out of the eye. Going to Riggins, and Riggins, is he in? Oh, you can't get any closer than that. Oh, my. That is the closest you can get to not breaking the plane in football, folks. 3rd and goal. Going to Tomlinson, and he is taken down for a loss of 2. 4th and goal. Does Heroes go for it, or do they take the field goal? Looks like they are going to kick the field goal. And they get it for the 19-yarder. So Heroes FC on the board, but obviously going to be disappointed not being able to get the touchdown. The defensive stops for Valhalla. Wow. And I would have looked at that measurement again. That looked like he might have been in on that Riggins rush, but nonetheless, it is 17-3, and Doug Baldwin brings it out of the end zone with a kickoff to the 50. Whoa! Look at those. I'm not sure who got him, but that was just an absolute launch. That was a launch, and if there were injuries on, I think we might not have seen too much of Doug Baldwin after that. Here's Valhalla, 17-3, under 9:30 to go in the 2nd quarter. See the strategy, what they do. They're going to the air. Vic, he's going deep. Look for that killer blow. It is brought in. It is brought in by Doug Baldwin. Mike Vick, fearless. An absolutely monster connection. Went up top and hauled it in. 108 receiving yards already on 3 catches for Doug Baldwin. Wow. Right sideline to Jim Brown. And Jim Brown stiff-armed Mel Blount right into decades ago after that. Wow. And Jim Brown, of course, is a rusher, but in AFLL has been quite the receiving threat for Valhalla. He was one of the top performers of the week at running back. The top performer, one of 3, was Eric Metcalf of Beowulf. UFF Sports friend and NFT set. You can get all the NFTs at ultimatesportsnfts.com. Webster Slaughter shy of that 1st down marker. He was able to spin around and rip it in. I formation. Got Gary Clark on that right side. Let's see what the defense is doing. You have Brian Dawkins as the deep safety. And they got a wide 5-man front. Feeling that run. It's going to Brown. Brown finds the edge on the right side. Can't get into the end zone. But did you see the juke, the plant, the push, the cut? It's a 1st and goal. And they're going to that 2 running back set. Bo Jackson's the lead blocker on the left. Heroes FC loading up the left side of that defense. Mike Vick taking that clock down. Waiting. Boy, this defense really analyzing, getting a look. Mike Vick, I don't know if he's having it down or just waiting for it. Jim Brown, and that was nearly a bigger tackle for loss. Blount got in on him there, but Mark Gastineau was right there, and Jim Brown was able to hurdle over him. Now out of the eye. Can Heroes get a stop just like Valhalla stoned them close to that end zone. Brown, and he cannot get in. Big Buckus with the high shoulder hit to take down Brown. Already 50 yards on the ground, 37 in the air. 3 wide out set now, as it is 3rd and goal. Baldwin and Warfield on the left. Clark on the right. Don't forget about Greg Olson, too. Safety's moved over to the middle. Brown went for the run, and Brown breaks the plane. Touchdown, Jim Brown. 2nd of the game. And Valhalla pulling away 25-3. But, folks, I say it every week. And it almost always comes true. No lead is safe. No lead is safe. You can score in bunches in the AFLL. You get when the all-timers play head-to-head in their prime. And Phil Dawson kicked that out of the end zone. 6:08 remaining in the half. So they'll begin from their own 25, will Heroes FC. Out of the pistol. Have that spread, 2 wide receivers each side. Steve Young. Great job by the offensive line. Wide open man to Peos. And Peos past the 40 in to Valhalla territory. Credit to the offensive line keeping that pressure out. Steve Young had all day, and then the cut was made out of the center to that left plane. Going to the pistol again. Hands to Tomlinson. Ooh. And Bullock, who is having himself an afternoon and evening, with another tackle for loss. Get pushed back 2. See if Young goes back to the air. Tomlinson on the right hip. No, just gave right back to him. Got 1 yard back. And Valhalla bringing the pressure, giving nothing on those edges. Heroes maybe try something up the middle at some point. Young waits lots of time. Going end zone, up top, and knocked down, swatted away by Cam Chancellor. Triple coverage. That was a go-for-it shot. And it'll bring up 4th down and 11. And they are going for it. Wow. Gotta love the aggressiveness in Valhalla territory at the 40. Maybe could have tried for a field goal. How good the legs are in the AFLL. That sideline, Mike Quick, would be a turnover on downs. Mike Quick couldn't make his man miss. Charlie Waters could not make him miss. And his Valhalla ball. 2nd, 4th down, failed conversion. Vic with the drop back. Receiver open over the middle to the left. It's Doug Baldwin again. Doug Baldwin, another massive gain. Laser-like accuracy there by Vic to Baldwin. That connection, my goodness. And to Jim Brown, did you see that juke? Oh. Blunt still was able to get him back at scrimmage. Excellent takedown by Blunt. Oh, my goodness. The juke move, the plant and cut of Jim Brown. That's special. 2 wide receiver set. You had Olsen on that right side. And Jim Brown going out of the backfield. We'll be saying his name a lot and have already. Going for a spread look. Olsen's had a couple catches today. Also at the disposal of Valhalla, Paul Warfield, Hines Ward on the receiver front. Webster Slaughter's caught a pass. And Baldwin. Oh, there's an offensive penalty here. Oh, against the defense. Jerome Brown, rotational defensive lineman for Heroes, and he'll be calling that. Keeps this drive going for Valhalla. Pressure coming. Vic gets rid of it. It's to Jim Brown. Gain of 3. Heroes starting to really try to pressure with Butkus, Hampton, Bubba Smith. You see the linebacker shift over to that right side. And Mike Vick, the shift work. Butkus raked through that offensive line. Adamraw. And you see him giving that home crowd at Heroes FC Stadium Something to cheer about. 3rd and 11. Watch out for Baldwin. Wide receiver on that left side wide. Jim Brown, Bubba Smith, wraps him up. And takes him down to the turf. Paul Dawson was looking field goal. It takes us to the 2-minute warning. 25-3 the score. In the AFLL, we routinely see kicks of 50 plus. See if Phil Dawson can get this one. Phil the foot. It's up. It's back. It is good. 53-yarder for Phil Dawson, and it is 28-3 for Valhalla. Heroes FC certainly has the horses to come back. And if I know my broadcast partner, I think he will make some halftime adjustments and come back extra hot to come out. Still a minute 56 though. Maybe they can get a point or two on the board before the second quarter wraps up. We will see. 2 wideouts to the left. Raymond Berry on the right. Tomlinson in the backfield. Tomlinson ran into a wall. Fred Young, rotational linebacker, came up and he just read that play. There is nothing going on the edge when it comes to the run for Heroes. Valhalla has scouted that tremendously. It's just sealing off those edge. Audible being called by Young. 2nd and 10 at their own 25. I'm still ticking. Minute 34. Young with the drop back. Surveys the field over the middle to Quick. And he'll move the chain, but the clock still runs. A pickup of 12. 14 of 19 on the day for Steve Young. Great looking stats, but can he march his team? Has the 1 interception though. Ball in the 37. To the sideline, and Gonzalez, but does he get out of bounds? Does not. 2-yard pickup for the Hall of Fame tight end. 4 wide receivers out there, 2 on each side. Tomlinson, the lone running back. Minute 4. Young again sees something he doesn't like out of that defense. Quick release, incomplete. Tried to catch Charlie Waters sleeping on a pass to Raymond Berry, but maybe rushed that throw a little too much.
Nebraska.
3rd and 8 now. Under a minute to go in the half. Again to that quick side and went to the same pass tried for Berry. Again over the head. Not planting the foot, and it's 4th and 8. Already have gone for it twice on 4th down. Let's see what the decision is here for Heroes FC. Well, I was going to say that is a long field goal. Even for the AFLL, it would have been a long one. And he is calling he's going to the punt. A better decision. Matt Turk with the kick, with the punt. Deep, can it stay out of the end zone? It cannot. Would have pinned them. Ball hit the ground at the 3. 28-3. 50 seconds to go. Valhalla looking for more. Mike Vick. Waiting. Pressure coming. Over the top, it's deep. And it is just incomplete. Dawkins and Brown were hunting. Had those ball hawk eyes to Dawkins, but could not bring it down. Nice breakup by Doug Baldwin, who Michael Vick has connected with quite a few times for just chunk gains over and over, but not that time. 2nd down. There's Vick deep in his own territory, going over the middle again. Double, triple coverage, and is that Jim Brown, I believe, got that? Brown out of the backfield and was able to sprint down the field and get this drive going. At their own 45, out of the eye. 39 seconds left. Play action. Vick, left sideline, complete to Bo Jackson. And there's Jackson. 1 man miss, and Jackson goes out of bounds. Bo Jackson's first touch of the ball game, and it was a big one. 37-yard pickup for Bo. Jackson again with the play action. Waits. Whoa, got hit off the throw, and it is incomplete. 27 seconds left. What a catch and run by Bo Jackson. Heroes FC, the cornerbacks. Eric Allen's had a bit of a tough day. Mel Blunt has had a couple tackles for loss.
Tonight.
Safeties have been pretty good too, despite the score. Vic looking end zone, and it is not brought in. Swatted down again by the safety, Joey Browner. With 23 seconds left, and 28-3. They're very much within striking distance with that potent Heroes FC offense.
Tonight.
Vic looks, waits, pressure coming. Left corner end zone, and again, nothing happening. A breakup by Eric Allen. 3 attempts in the end zone.
Tonight.
3 incompletions. Phil Dawson will try to put up the trio, and he will. 35-yard field goal is good. 31-3. But if you're Heroes FC, you got to feel really good about that stop. Your defense showed leadership, that they were not frustrated, that they stood tall and made 3 incredible stops to hold them to 3. Now 15 seconds left. And Phil Dawson with the foot. And that will carry out of the end zone. So, let's see. Does Hero FC, do they go for it? Do they play it safe? What are we looking at with 15 seconds left? We'll be out of the shotgun. Tomlinson on his right hip of Young. Hands to Tomlinson. A loss of 2. Loss of 1 officially. Keith Bullock again. That right side from Keith Bullock is just absolutely locked down, and there's no key for it. Pistol formation. And that'll do it for the first half, 31-3. See, folks, it got so high, I take the coat off. The action was so incredible. That was a very entertaining first half as we see the score. 31-3, Valhalla leading Heroes FC. And what I saw to Heroes FC late in that quarter, again, that defensive stand, and they were starting to find some success on the left and right side. For Valhalla, it's all about Jim Brown. Big connection to Bo Jackson. Of course, Doug Baldwin from Michael Vick. That connection. Ball was on a string whenever he's looking his way. So how will this second half play out? Let's take a look at a couple of first half highlights to see how we got to this point. And you see Young. Now Young blown up there on the sack from Bullock. And that led to an eventual punt and that catch and gallop from Baldwin. Set up a big-time score there. And then you see Vic again with pressure, went to the end zone, and Webster Slaughter with the touchdown right over the top of Ken Riley. And then we go later. Now in the second quarter, it was Vic, fearless to Baldwin. Right in the face of Chancellor. What else are you going to do if you're Chancellor? Jim Brown with the juke. That was dirty. That was absolutely a filthy cut by Jim Brown. Phenomenal. The cut, the plants. That's what you get in the American Football Legends League. We see the greats of all time. And no lead is safe. Hashtag that. No lead is safe. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at the AFLL, Instagram at the UFAFL, and myself at AndyMC81 on Twitter. Make sure as well, hey, you want to see the standings, the stats, the scores? You can get it all at uffsports.com/AFLL. You'll see all the great logos. You can go to the team shops, get some of that sweet merchandise with these great logos. All there, uffsports.com/AFLL. Now, I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, had a chance to catch up. I have never talked to this gentleman before, but he is very entertaining, and I want to catch up with him again really soon. He's one of the top Jacksonville Jaguars of all time, voted in by the organization. Heck of a college player. Here's my conversation with Aaron Beasley. Hey, everybody. Andy McNamara with you, head of football operations for UFF Sports. Very excited to chat with this gentleman, Aaron Beasley, college star, NFLer, record holder. I'm pumped to talk to you. Aaron, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you.
Oh,
Good to hear.
doing good, doing good. Hey, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being on. And we were chatting before the interview started, and I was telling you, you're on Team Elite in the American Football Legends League, and you had a big interception. So how cool is that? You're out of retirement now, and you're picking off like Joe Montana, Bart Starr, all those guys.
Well, guys I always studied and looked up to. It's finally good to be out there on the field with them and make plays against them.
That's That's right. That's right. You're up. You're playing against the all-time greats. You're in there. Hey, and of course, you're one of the all-time great Jacksonville Jaguars. A few years ago, they had the top Jaguars of all time. You were right in the top 20 there. When you look now as a player, from a former player, either before you played, players now, is there anybody that you would think, hey, man, you know what? I would love to cover this receiver, or, ooh, I would like to test myself against this quarterback from any era? Does anybody stand out to you?
I mean, it's funny you say that because I actually played against guys, you know.
Yeah.
you know, I growing up, we always played football on Sundays before the games, and you always had a guy that was a quarterback, and like, I was always like a John Elway or a Dan Marino, and then shoot, my rookie year, I'm out there playing against John Elway, and it was like I always had my top five list. John Elway and Dan Marino are up there, so that dream scenario, intercepting Dan Marino. And a Pennsylvania guy. I'm from Pennsylvania. He's from Western Pennsylvania. I'm from Eastern Pennsylvania, and they get more of the recognition for football. But the East Pennsylvania won that game.
That's right. You picked him off. That's right. And you're a finalist as well for the College Football Hall of Fame, so that'll be exciting. And Aaron, when you look at from yourself now, again, we were chatting before the interview, and what you give back and teach, I thought it was fascinating you taking this through. I want you to take the viewers through this, the type of footwork and coaching you do, not just for youth, but for the pros all the way down. Tell us about that.
Well, I work every level, just because playing defensive back it takes so much skill. It's funny. I was talking to a coach the other day, and we're like talking about camps. And when you go to a football camp, you'll have out of 100 guys, you'll have 90 receivers and 10 D backs. Because everybody wants the glory. Because there's not as much glory playing defensive back. So I think a lot of guys shy away from it because it's embarrassing. You can get beat out there, and it's not fun. But I took pride in that. Like I really took pride in defense. Just like when I played basketball, like defense was my specialty. I didn't care about points. I wanted to shut the opponent down. And guys just have different mentalities. But I teach a lot of the basics. Because a lot of people do a lot of fancy footwork and do all these drills. Like everything I do, it correlates right to the position because I actually played. Like I don't go out there and try to say how to do things, and I haven't been there. Like I was on that field, and I've made plays in big games. So a lot of the stuff that I do, it actually comes from playing in the game, and I correlate it to my drills. So like we were talking earlier, I was saying playing defensive back is playing like every sport in every sport, every position in
Yeah.
every sport, because eventually, like in basketball, you got to get back and play defense. Uh, Soccer, you got to get back and play defense. Hockey, you think about all the sports like baseball. Balls hit, you got to react, and a lot of this stuff is footwork. Having quick twitch muscles and being able to change your hips and flip and get out of there. I teach a lot of like little things. I stand on balance balls and throw balls at them and make them catch from different angles because, you know, like football and most sports are all spontaneous. So, we don't practice some of the spontaneous things. So like what I do is I add the basic formula, and then I add some like weird drills that make you feel uncomfortable because you got to be uncomfortable sometimes because that's going to happen. And if you've done it and felt that, then you won't panic.
Right. So, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't understand how much goes into this. And it's not just you watch on TV and a defensive back, he backpedals. Well, there's so much more into that, right? It's core balance. It's those quick twitch muscles, like you said, ankles and the hips. Like in the NFL Combine's coming, we're going to hear a lot about loose hips, keeping loose, that type of thing. There's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about, like, there's a lot of guys that can run a 4.2 or 4.3 40, but if they're not good in their hips and they can't flip and run, they can lose steps because, especially defensive back, we're playing and we're all reactionary. So everything we do, we're based off of a receiver or what he does. So being able to backpedal and not take false steps, where that if I got a guy that runs a 4.3 and he's running, if I take 2 false steps, he's running by me. I have to be able to flip my hips. And a lot of things, it's funny, I can have it down to a science just because I ran a 4.6 and I'm out there sticking to Galloway, who I'm like, man, I heard he ran a 4.1. I'm like, if I miss, it's done. I'm out there. It's funny. I'm from Pennsylvania, so Rocket Ismail's from Pennsylvania. So my freshman year in high school, Rocket Ismail's out there running a 10.6. Well, I'm probably running like 11.7, 11.8. And, I played against Rocket, and I end up playing against Rocket in the NFL. And I'm like, man, I can't let him get his speed going.
No.
So, and so a lot of that has to do with playing a perfect technique every play. So, I teach my guys, like, especially even in our drills, when you're tired, it doesn't matter. You always got to rely on the same technique. You got to be consistent. And every time you got to rely on what you have done through all this training every time.
Amazing. And Aaron, how has the game changed? Because we hear all the time how, if you breathe on a quarterback, you get a penalty. If you look at a wide receiver too much, you get called for pass interference, whatever. How is it? How much more difficult, let me say, is it for a defensive back today than even back from when you played, and certainly decades before that?
Well, especially the physicality, I think the physical part actually helps the mental part for receivers because, it used to be a no-fly zone when you throw that ball in the middle. And, I played against and with some heavy hitters. And when you come across that middle, it becomes intimidating. Where now, guys can actually concentrate on that ball and not worrying about the big hits anymore. Where, that takes the mental part out of it, because now they don't have to worry about it. But, the quarterbacks, they get away with a lot. I feel sorry for the running quarterbacks, though, because they still don't call it for them.
Nope, they still get it.
Some of Justin Fields hits this year. I'm like, man, maybe he got to wait to get some respect or something. But it's they definitely are a lot tighter. But at the same time, I don't feel like they're tight on the receivers because now you got these guys who are bigger than the DBs, and they're using their physical gifts and their physical stature to outmuscle a lot of guys. The average size of a D-back is like 5'10", 5'11". I mean, you think you're going against how many 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" receivers now? You think about that, So, and then, like, I think receivers get away with a lot because of that. People don't realize how one little push could mean 4 or 5 steps. And when you got quarterbacks who their accuracy is so pinpoint nowadays and where they throw these balls, there is a big advantage on offense.
And which makes learning that footwork, learning that technique from people like you is so important. Aaron, I want the viewers to get to know you a little bit as well. So before we let you go, tell us what you're streaming on Netflix right now, because you're saying, hey, you know what? Nobody watches previews like Aaron Beasley.
Oh man, I'm the preview champ. I've never watched the series, but I watch his preview. But I got into what's the one I'm watching now?
Blacklist?
Villander. The Blacklist is one of them. Raymond Reddington is the coolest criminal ever.
Yeah, that guy gets it.
I like the crime shows. You know, some of the documentaries. I like that the Kevin Hart series. That was pretty cool. True story. That seems like that could be his life almost. You know, and you know that's a scary one. Like some of the ones that are scary are the ones that are so realistic. I'm so much into like spy stuff and crime. Like First 48, I still watch. I'll still go back, and I've seen every one of them. I'll still go back and watch that.
Those are great.
But oh man, sports and crime shows and mysteries, that's me. Like I've never watched a horror film. I'm never going to watch one. That's just I'd rather have a good dream, you know. Most of the time I don't have a dream, so when I want a good dream. I don't need Freddie in my dreams. I don't need none of them in my dreams. Like
no.
I live one of them lives where I wake up and I'm happy.
Right.
So I don't want to be worried in my sleep and then wake up unhappy.
Right, and someone's gonna get you. Exactly. Listen, Aaron,
I don't want to be chased. I don't need to be chased in my dreams. You know what I mean?
Listen, I want to have you on again at the later on this season because we have a whole bunch more to talk, even just about movies and all that and sports. So, listen, tell people where they can find you on social media, the coach and stuff. They want to be in touch or find out about you. Where can they find Aaron Beasley?
Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I really don't even know my call names or none of that, but I think it's Beasley 7. Yeah, it's Beasley 737 at Instagram. I don't know all that. I'm like old school. I sit here and I play my Xbox and I go train my guys and I'm good. I'm happy with life and family's good and every's happy.
That's awesome, Aaron. Listen, we will do this again later in the season.
I go by like the Bruce Lee philosophy in life. You know, every day I just flow like water.
Flow like. Oh, I like that. That's a shirt. So I think we got to put that on a shirt. We'll put that at the UFF Sports Shop. We'll put that up there for you. Aaron, good luck.
Look,
keep getting interested.
Look at me. I'm even representing one of my boys' football camps. That's my boy.
Oh, there you go.
Fielder, man. I didn't even know I had this on, but Jay, he does a great thing every summer, and I go up to somewhere in New York, and Jay has this big camp, and we do it, man. It's fun.
That's all.
Like kids that never get to see and experience. You know, we got pro guys coming to up there in upstate New York. These guys never seen NFL guys, and we get up there every year and work them out, man. It's fun.
That's very cool. Well, you know what? We'll do it again soon. In the meantime, keep catching some interceptions for Team Elite in the American Football Legends League. We'll talk to you soon.
I'm about to go on the hot streak coming up.
There you go. There he is, the great Aaron Beasley.
Do you have an eye for talent and love spending nights at the ballpark? Then the UFLB scouting world is for you. Bid in auctions on future studs or find diamonds in the rough on the open market. Track real-world players, add them to your stable, and cash in when they reach pro. Become an independent scout, sell to the highest bidder, or affiliate with one of 30 professional fantasy baseball franchises and share in the prize pool winnings. Register at uffsports.com as a scout, pay the $25 USD worth of ScoreCoin fee, and get your scouting career in high gear. Get in the game where you own the game. Reach out to @UFLB_scouting on Twitter for more details.
Keep it real with real. I take all my problems to the field with the field.
Hey
there, fantasy gals and guys. Have you ever had somebody say to you, that player has no fantasy value? Well, then they've obviously never been a part of Ultimate Franchise Fantasy Sports, where everyone's a player, from the superstar to the backup. They all contribute to a real-world title, and they do the same thing in UFFS. All of our leagues are based on real-world rosters, meaning you have to make the tough decisions as a fantasy owner or GM. Lineup, contract, and otherwise. It has the feel of owning an actual franchise minus the billion-dollar price tag. And we have so much more. A revolutionary scouting platform where bird dogs find the talent and then get paid off when they make it to the big leagues. Check out all the information at www.uffsports.com and find the hottest sports NFTs at ultimatesportsnfts.com. With UFFS, you own the game.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Game of the week, second half. I'm Andy McNamara. Get me on Twitter at AndyMC81, the league at the AFLL. 31-3, Valhalla leads Heroes FC. And Heroes FC gets the ball. My broadcast partner, Dan Esposito, I know he's cooked up something at halftime for some adjustments. They were getting close, out of the eye. This pitch to Tomlinson, and going for that right side. And, folks, you are not getting past Keith Bullock tonight. You're just not. It's just not happening. That right and left side, the edges have been pinned. 5 tackles, all for loss for Bullock. Here's that left side for Quick. Grabbed 4. Actually grabbed 5, the other one was the loss. So Mike Quick coming back. He's been one of the more underrated players. You got Tim Brown, you see on that left side wide. 3rd and 6 from their own 29.
6.
Changes the play at the line. The great Steve Young at quarterback. And Tomlinson, I like the play call over the middle, but not enough. 2 yards short. And Heroes FC saying, hey, we're down 31-3. We got to go for it. He is going for it on 4th down again. I formation. Bo Jackson with the lead blocker, and Steve Young. The play action, and guess who? It's Keith Bullock. Another sack, another tackle for Keith Bullock, who went from that right side and overpowered the middle of that offensive line. Steve Wisniewski pushed back. And it is now Valhalla with great field position. And Mike Vick got hit as he released the ball. I believe it was Cornelius Bennett who got in on him. It was incomplete. No, it was Bubba Smith or something. There's Jim Brown with the pitch to the right side. Brown, gain of 4. Jim Brown, 2 first half touchdowns. Doug Baldwin has been a wrecking ball on the outside and over the middle on the receiver side. And Bo Jackson was sprinkled in as well. Vick with the drop back. Pressure coming. Avoided the sack, and it's incomplete, but Vick used those quick feet, the stutter step, to get out of the way. Valhalla will take the field goal after the 4th down possession. At least they'll try for it. It's a failed conversion. It's up, it's back, it is good. 42-yarder for Phil Dawson. Really enjoyed the chat there with Aaron Beasley. If you missed it, the interview on its own will be up at AFLL.live under the athlete interview section that you can go watch those anytime. Catch my interviews with the great Eric Metcalf, Walt Harris, Lionel Dalton. All on there, and all sports NFTs at our ultimatesportsnfts.com site. So check out those NFT sets. Really, really cool stuff there. Out of the pistol for Steve Young. Now down 34-3. Tomlinson behind. Young, right sideline, lots of space for Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez turned invisible, got past one tackler. That might have been Waters. with a nice chunk gain there for Heroes FC.
Mississippi,
Valhalla
Mississippi.
are at their own 42. Tim Brown wide left. He's been quiet today. The right side again. There is Ben Coates. The secondary tight end, Ben Coates, moving those chains as he points down the field. And like I've said, no lead is safe in the AFLL. Jim Brown, or rather Bo Jackson, was putting that outside. It is complete to Tony Gonzalez. I'm sorry, John Riggins to the outside. 2nd and 8. Now for Heroes FC. Field goals are no good at this point. They need majors. And that stop where they were stuffed 4 times at the 1-yard line, looking huge now. That right sideline, Tomlinson just short of the first down. 1 yard to go. So Steve Young getting Tomlinson involved more in the passing game, where the run on the ground, it's just not working against Valhalla. So you have to utilize your playmakers, and he's doing just that. Going out of the spread into double coverage. Whoa! That was close. That Ken Riley nearly got his hands on that. Would have been the 2nd interception for Steve Young. They will go for the field goal. 4th and Young. Take any points. And a 50-yarder is good. And Heroes FC will kick off once again now, 34-6. That defense really needs a stop. And they have held Valhalla to field goals after really good field position. One on a turnover via interception, and the other on a failed 4th down conversion. Jim Brown in the backfield. And Mike Vick! Oh! Greg Lloyd! My goodness! Greg Lloyd was sent from that left side. No one picked him up, and he speared Michael Vick to the turf. 2nd and 16. Pinned back. Jim Brown cannot make his defender miss on that one. Gobbles up 2. They're going 3 wide receiver set, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Gary Clark's the one on the right. And pressure coming again to the sideline. And Greg Olsen with the first down. What a catch and run by Greg Olsen there. And you saw it was a contested catch, but Olsen used those strong hands and then shoved off the quarterback to get that 15, 20-yard gain. Jim Brown picks up a chunk. Wow, just when Heroes FC looked like they were going to get off the field, Valhalla makes the magic happen. And they'll see what they can do here just outside of Heroes territory. Vick to the right sideline, and it is complete to Bo Jackson. Another catch for Bo. And that's a first down on a pickup of 11. Now going the opposite way to the left. Into double coverage. You saw Brian Dawkins head over to help Eric Allen and break up that pass to Doug Baldwin, who has just been sensational today. Second and 10, going wide out heavy in the spread, 2 on each side. Jim Brown all alone in the backfield. There's Vick. Surveys, waits. 2-man attack. How did Baldwin get that? How did Doug Baldwin pick up 12 yards on that? The ball went through Allen and I believe Dawkins to make that completion. Mike Vick had the ball on a string. The completion percentage isn't always pretty, but the big play that Mike Vick is known for comes through, and he just gets that ball away to Jim Brown on the left side, and he will just be out of the end zone at the 1. Jim Brown, after Vick was crunched, whipped it to the left, and Brown hustled into the end zone and at the 1.
Bo Jackson as the lead blocker. Heroes FC line up those linebackers, and they keep Brown out. Sent the house, Cornelius Bennett. What a monster he was back in his day. Interesting. The one wide out set, but 4 wide receivers triples on the right side for Valhalla. Baldwin on the left. Oh, and tried to fool with Jim Brown. Hampton said, no, Dan Hampton, you didn't fool me. The defensive tackle rolled right through Jim Parker. An overload of pressure from that D-line for Heroes, who keep pushing them back. They started this last drive at the 1, and it's intercepted! Now Blunt with the intercepted, Blunt with the INT! A crucial turnover for Heroes FC, and it was in the end zone, so they get the break of it being a touchback. Let's see what Heroes can do here. Young under center, Tim Brown on the left, Barry to the right. Young left, and there will be Ben Coates, who scooted out from that tight end spot on the left. Only a gain of 2. Young doing a lot of dinking and dunking there. Really West Coast style in it. At some point, you'd think he'd want to try a deep shot. 34-6 to score. You just get the feeling Heroes FC is just one play away from getting back into this ballgame. Right over the middle. And Tony Gonzalez. Did you see the box out? Tony Gonzalez, of course, really brought that basketball mentality, that former college basketball player mentality with the footwork, the box, the hands, and he did it right there to pick up 12 and move the chains for his team. Heroes are marching. Left. Gonzalez again, right back. Racing down that sideline. Tony Gonzalez. Back-to-back receptions. And he ripped off that big gain. Now to Valhalla territory at their 42. Double coverage. Oh, and they just got the ball away. Tony Gonzalez again. 3 straight completions. Young hit hard as Long and Manley broke through that line. So better than nothing on that 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8. Young again with the drop back. 5. Quick pass to the right. This time it worked. He tried that a few times. And he's just sticking with Tony Gonzalez. Why not? Steve Young tried on 2 straight occasions in the first half that quick pass, and it didn't work, and he sailed the ball high. Got the footwork under control now. 4:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Heroes in the pistol. Tomlinson behind him. Young waits, rears back, slings, fires, completes to Tony Gonzalez again. That connection, if it works, keep going to it. And that's what Heroes is doing. Another first down.
Check 17.
Again going with the pistol. Tomlinson rolls out to the right, and he will grab Ben Coates. Ben Coates, and the tight end's really getting a hefty workload for Heroes FC right now. 2nd and 1. At the 14, in the red zone for Valhalla. Sticking with that pistol. Brown and Barry, the 2 wideouts.
Mississippi.
See something again. You got the 1 high safety for Valhalla. Surveys, goes, completes to Ben Coates. Another first down. And you can start seeing some confidence and that momentum going for Heroes FC. Going right back to the pistol on the 2 wide. Romanowski, Fletcher, Bullock, the linebackers for Valhalla, who have been stellar today, especially Bullock. Fletcher with an interception as well. Young keeps calling those audibles. Steps back. He waits. Lots of time. And he had to get rid of it. You had Manny Fernandez breathing down your neck, and that was a smart throwaway for Steve Young. 2nd and goal at the 5. In the red zone, this has been a problem for Hero FC. Remember, held out at that 1-yard line. Can they convert here? Had to settle for a field goal then. What will happen now?
Eagle.
Changing the play again. Tim Brown, 1-on-1 coverage up against Aqib Talib. Young waits. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. Chancellor with the breakup. 3rd and goal. Heroes desperately need a major. Kicking in the pistol.
32.
Keep an eye on Gonzalez. He's on the left part of that line.
Hike.
Check it. The pressure coming from Valhalla. End zone! Touchdown! Ben Cup! Ben Cup finds pay dirt and the first TD of the game for Heroes FC. And the point after is good. We got ourselves a ball game now, folks. 34-13 for Valhalla, who dominated and jumped out to a 31-3 lead at halftime. We'll see what they can do right here. Off the kickback, they will take over at their own 25, will Valhalla. We've seen a lot of success today. Anything to Jim Brown, and of course to Doug Baldwin through the air. Michael Vick, little misdirection. Jim Brown, Cornelius Bennett, only let him pick up one. Grabbed those ankles and gator rolled him. The two wideouts shuffled to the left. Baldwin and Clark. Back to Brown. A little bit of blocking. Whoa! Jim Brown absolutely turned inside out. And that takes some doing. Minute 47 to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 4 at their own 30. Yeah, Bo Jackson's the lead block. Defensive line shifting heavy to that right, anticipating the run. And they do run, but it doesn't matter as Jim Brown will grab that first down. Jim Brown, of course, a movie star, left football early because Art Modell wouldn't let him do a movie. So he said, hey, I'll just quit. And retired early, the all-time leading rusher at the time. The linebackers dancing in that front 7 for Heroes. Bennett, Butkus, Mecklenburg. Got Lloyd in there as well as the extra. And the switch at the last second. Nice adjustments. Vic hit. And it is incomplete. Vic just got that ball away. Lyle Elzaldo coming in on that contact to Mike Vick. 44 seconds left in the third quarter. So if you're Valhalla, looking to use up some clock as well with that 34-13 lead. Going back to Brown. Brown finds the edge on the right side. Gobbles up 2 on the turf. Four wide receiver set. Triplets on the right. Baldwin, lone guy on the left. They go to Brown anyway. Did not fool that Heroes FC defense. Mel Blunt with the crucial interception with a tackle for loss there. And they will be forced to punt. There's Reggie Roby with the boot. And will he be able to pin them? No. He rolls on into that end zone. End of the third quarter, 34-13. I'm very interested to see what Heroes FC is going to do on this drive. If Valhalla can get the stop, they'll be in a great position to win this ball game.
Hot 6.
Out of the pistol, Tomlinson in the backfield. Running game has not been able to go at all for Heroes in this game. And it doesn't matter because Ben Coates will inhale that pass and gobble up 15 total yards. At the 38. The run, if it doesn't work, you go to the air. Steve Young has been making those adjustments. Tim Brown on the hot route you saw there. Gonzalez with a couple. Steve Young very comfortable with his tight ends. Ben Coates got the touchdown. He's been alternating really between Gonzalez and Coates, with Tim Brown being blanketed by Akeem Talib all game long.
Mississippi.
To hold Tim Brown off takes some doing. So lots of game left, under 14 to go in the fourth quarter. Right over the middle and tried to squeeze that ball in to Tony Gonzalez, and it couldn't be done. 3rd and 7 from their own 41. Valhalla's defense trying to make this stall.
Hot short. Hot 6.
3 wide
6.
receivers
Go.
on the left, bunched up into triple. Young waits, tons of time, rears back, over the top, and it's complete! It's complete to Tim Brown! Tim Brown finally breaks free, and with that Hall of Fame talent, that's all it takes. It takes one. Steve Young put all his weight behind that. Second catch of the game, 51 total yards, and most of it came right there. Now on the 20, entering the red zone, out of the pistol for Young. He goes end zone and, just missed. Tim Brown just missed it. He was all alone. He got past Talib and Chancellor, and it went off his fingertips. Missed opportunity for Heroes. They'll go right back.
32.
Triple wide receiver set on that left. He waits sideline, connects with Mike Quick. He might just, he's about a yard short of that first down marker. 3rd and 1. Really nice absorption of the football there by Mike Quick out of the I formation now. Looks like they're going to keep moving those chains. And went to Riggins on a fullback smash, and he grabs 2. Ball now on the 8. Field goal with just over 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter will not do. They keep with that 3 wide out set on the left side. Thomason tries to go over the middle. Some space, and Quick will score! A touchdown! The offense drew Talib in. Quick got it around the backside, and Mike Quick with the touchdown gives Heroes FC 19 points and their second major. Mike Quick has been one of the unsung offensive heroes for Heroes early on in this season, and they are going for 2. And why not?
Eagle.
And they're going to run. Some room on that right side. Caught by Barry. And, boy, Barry was open. If Young would have got rid of it sooner, would have converted. Waters with the tackle for loss, keeping him out of the end zone. So the score remains 34-19 on the failed 2-point conversion. Heroes will kick off. And we'll go back for the touchback. Now Valhalla's offense has stalled coming out in this second half. See Dawkins, the high safety, moving over more to the right, up on the top of your screen. Baldwin and Warfield on the left, Gary Clark on the right for wideouts for Valhalla, and of course Jim Brown in the backfield. He was really surveying that field as the play clock ticks down. Whoa, Mike Vick! He had no time to breathe. Dan Hampton with the second sack, but he had Bubba Smith and Dick Butkus right with him. That was a complete overload to that offensive line. Jim Parker, Tyler Columbus were down before they had a chance to set. And it looks like they're bringing heat to that right side again, is Heroes FC. 2nd and 19. That's from their 16, the linebackers going in and out. And now to that left side. And Vic overwhelmed as he did get it to Jim Brown. He was able to hand it off, but Dan Hampton just missed out on his 3rd sack of the game. Settles for a tackle of loss as they push Jim Brown back. And Heroes FC has found something they like with that overload to just get through and to Mike Vick or the running back before they can move. I'm wondering if maybe shotgun would be a better idea for Valhalla with all that pressure. Vick gets the ball away, and Hines Ward, a gain of 2. Really, that was to just give them a little more room to punt, as they'll just be on the goal line there. Reggie Roby will have his leg strength tested. And what a massive kick. Look at that. Right at the 30. There's Browner. To the right. Gain of 7. Picked up 7. Nice field position and another chance for Heroes FC. Over 10 minutes to go. Plenty of time.
Eagle.
Pistol formation.
Nebraska.
Tomlinson, the running back. 3 wideouts left. Don't forget about Gonzalez and Ben Coates, the tight ends. Over the top, rear back, complete! Complete to Barry, Raymond Barry! Right over the top, Steve Young unleashed it, and Barry with his second catch of the game, 37 total yards. They're working in a hurry up here. Steve Young, now left sideline, and Barry again. After doing nothing in the first half, Raymond Barry consecutive catches, 2nd and 1. Will they run with Tomlinson? Will they continue to throw? Steve Young, not even faking the. Oh, and that was as close to a sack without being a sack as you could get. Young barely got that ball away. 402 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. You see there on the screen. For Hall of Famer Steve Young.
Check.
Sticking with that pistol. They like the triplets on the left side. Going after Akeem Talib. Really overwhelming. Going deep. And oh! Incomplete. Ken Riley with the swat down. Very close. Looking for Ben Coates again. And it's 4th and 1. Heroes FC has no choice but to try to go for it. 2 other 4th down conversions have proven unsuccessful for Heroes. Going pistol, spread those wideouts out a little bit. Got Barry Lone on the right.
Check. North.
Gonzalez on the right tight end spot. He's going deep. He's going end zone, and he found a touchdown to Barry. Raymond Barry. 3 huge receptions on this drive. None bigger than that one. Raymond Barry with the major. And all of a sudden, Heroes FC getting real close. 34-26 for Valhalla. That will force the touchback. I'm interested to see what Valhalla does strategy here wise. You still have a nice lead, but they can disappear in a moment, as we've seen. Do you try running the ball? Do you be aggressive? To see what the Valhalla strategy is, looking for their first victory of the season. Heroes FC trying to get back into the win column, sitting at 1 and 2. And play action, Mike Vick with the roll right shuffle. It's incomplete, but the way he made Bubba Smith miss, that was magical. That footwork by Mike Vick, making him one of the most electric and dynamic quarterbacks ever. A pitch out to Bo Jackson. And he knifed his way to the middle, a gain of 5. Now, I mentioned Bo Jackson hadn't been used a whole lot coming into this game this season. He used more today. Couple receptions you see. Had a rush. Have to find ways to keep your playmakers going, but Valhalla has made use of theirs for sure. Doug Baldwin, who's alone on the left in that spread. And Jim Brown for play action, and Vick! Eaten up by Butkus. Rolls through the line and takes a bite out of Vick. Just not having enough time being under center. The play action did not fool Heroes FC. And Roby will punt at the 20. There's Browner. And yeah, those special teams hits, man, ferocious. Ball at the 30. All right, Valhalla's defense. Can they make the stand? Heroes FC, can you continue the momentum? What a game of the week this has been so far, and we still have over 8 minutes to go. Out of the pistol.
Hot, short.
Raymond Barry on the right scored the last touchdown. Going wide out there. Tomlinson in behind. Play action, Steve Young taken down off the edge. Romanowski slicing through Randall McDaniel to get that sack. The play action did not fool him. Romanowski, who actually Valhalla acquired in a trade for Lionel Dalton, who owns the Birds of Prey. Lionel Dalton, the Super Bowl champion, who was my interview a couple weeks ago here on the Game of the Week. He got scooped on himself and had to trade for his player self and made that deal with Valhalla, and Romanowski paying off dividends there. Steve Young, it's a turnover, it's a fumble. Manny Fernandez with the forced fumble and recovery. Disaster
for Heroes FC. Manny Fernandez off the edge. His finally getting past Charlie Cowan, Fernandez had a couple of penetrations, but really broke through there. Wow. And tremendous field position. Can Valhalla score and try to put this one away? Going back to Brown on that right side, which has worked all game long. Pickup of 2. And that clock, more importantly, keeps ticking away for Heroes FC. Jim Brown, 7. Look at that stat line. My goodness, 114 in the air, 62 on the ground. Out of the eye, Bo Jackson, the lead block. Baldwin and Clark, the receivers. Got the 5 base for that Heroes defense. Jim Brown to the left side, and even despite going 5 wide, still finds that edge. Great blocking by Dan Deerdorf and Greg Olson on that left side to give Brown some room. Couple wide out left. Going pressuring in, moving in, creeping in, trying to get that run stuff is Heroes. Yeah, Bennett, go right up. Look how wide. They're trying to stop any sort of edge rush from Brown. Hasn't gone up the middle much, if at all, today. Always been about those edges. The play clock's still ticking down. Just in the nick of time. Jim Brown spin move. He spun out. A loss of about a half yard. But ducked underneath with this spin to create at least something and not a bigger loss. Dawson will put up the field goal, and he is money, 31 yards. And it is 37-26. So again, the Heroes FC defense from that late second quarter on, that bend but not break, holds them there. All right. 5:59 to go. On the touchback, now at the 25. They'll have to be aggressive. Young out of the pistol, using Tomlinson to a block. To the right side, one-on-one coverage, incomplete. A nice job by Riley. Was one-on-one with Waters, but then Ken Riley, the safety, hustled over to help. That was a nice matchup for Raymond Berry, who already has a touchdown today. Greg Baldwin has been kept in check for Valhalla earlier, and we saw how good he did. We'll see who can be kept in check for Heroes FC. And there's a face mask on Chancellor. Gonzalez with the completion, and that will move Heroes FC into tremendous field position. Triplet bunch left.
Mississippi.
Pistol.
Mississippi.
There's Tomlinson. Young. Looking, waiting. Slings, fires, completes to Gonzalez. Taken down at the 4. Tony Gonzalez, so good and quick for a man his size. The hands, the location, the technique.
Mississippi.
Going right back to that 3 wide out set. Young. Pressure coming. Going. Side. Touchdown, Mike Quick. Mike Quick, the slot receiver, with his second touchdown of the game. Mike Quick had all the focus on Brown and Berry, and he somehow can just be forgotten by defenses, and he's been doing it all year. Going for the 2-point conversion here, moving that 3 set to the right now. Young looking to the right for the 2 points, and it is incomplete. 37-32. 4:48 to go. Heroes have marched back from a 31-3 deficit, now down 37-32. What a ball game we've been treated to here today, folks. Wow. And remember, if you miss any of the game, they're all on demand for you at AFLL.live, where you're watching right now. Heroes FC needs a 3 and out. Valhalla wants to run down that clock.
And at this point, you need to get some points, too. At least another field goal. Jim Brown wrestles off Charlie Waters and is able to pick up a couple. 2nd and 8. Vick. Oh, the sidestep by Mike Vick. Now, that's a tackle for loss by Cornelius Bennett. But the way Mike Vick was able to just slither to that left side and make his man miss, that elusiveness. So impressive to watch. 3rd and 15 now. And very long. What will Valhalla do here? You have Baldwin, Clark, Warfield, Hines Ward, Slaughter, Olsen. Jim Brown, of course. Bo Jackson. He looks like he's in the lead back role. I would be shocked if they would run here. And they're not. Everybody goes. Empty backfield. It's up. It's deep. It's back. It's hot. Greg Olsen. Olsen rumbling. And he is kept out of the end zone. That was so close to breaking away. Greg Olsen, not known for his speed, trying to pull away and was caught from behind. 114 yards on 4 catches on 8 targets for Greg Olsen. A phenomenal snare by the tight end. And this is dangerous now. With the clock running and 3:16 left in the 4th. Pitch out to Brown. Brown. Double attack on him, and it is Dick Butkus. Quite a day, all-around day for Jim Brown. 2 touchdowns, 109 receiving, 67 on the turf. Going to man press. Really trying to keep Baldwin and Clark in checker, Heroes FC. With Allen and Blunt. Blunt, remember, has an interception. Linebackers shuffle over to the right as well. You have that 5 wide. Attempting to keep that edge. Brown going to the left. And Dawkins coming up with the safety blitz. Stuffing up that run. 3rd and 13 in the red zone. Vick gives to Brown, who's broken up some chunk gains today, but not that time. And this will likely take us down to the 2-minute warning. And the 2-minute warning hits. And it will be Valhalla going for that field goal. Heroes FC went for 2 two-point conversions today. Both were unsuccessful. You just think when it comes down to a game how close. 28-yard field goal good by Phil Dawson. How close this game is when you look back at all of it. What if you get one of them? What if you went for singles? How would that work out? Now trail by 8. Minute 57 left. And Heroes FC has all 3 timeouts. They will start at their own 25. And I don't think we'll be seeing any handoff to Mr. Tomlinson, who stands behind Young in the pistol. Brown peels Barry on the left.
North.
3-step drop. Young rears back, slings, fires to Quick. Quick with another touchdown. As he runs through, he has 2 touchdowns, looking for another touchdown. Another huge reception by Mike Quick. For his size, he is just so fast and quick, just like his name. Yes, Mike Quick.
Hot short.
What a game season he has had. 2 scores today, and once he gets any space, he is gone. And Tony Gonzalez, a much bigger body, he lumbers through for the first down. Minute 39 left.
Check West.
A touchdown and 2-point conversion away, and we could be looking at overtime here, folks. Young, through double, triple coverage, and an odd choice was trying to force it a little bit there to Mike Quick, going back. Seems best when he gets the ball in space and then just goes.
West.
Young. Left to the sideline, Pios, and he cannot get out of bounds. A timeout called by Heroes, 1 yard short Appeals over the shoulder. Catch as he goes down 2 away from that first down. Whoa, and Young got hit. Thrown up. Nearly intercepted. Young just had to get rid of it. Chucked it as hard as he could. And Cam Chancellor almost pulled it in the end zone for an interception. London Fletcher has the 1 INT on the evening for Valhalla. Again, out of the pistol, you see Tim Brown on the left. He's had the 2 catches. But as we saw earlier in the second half, he can explode at any time. And Steve Young got exploded up by Chris Long with the sack. They know they're throwing. And so, of course, the Valhalla defense now is able to, when they choose, pin those ears back. Manny Fernandez had a forced fumble and recovery. Chris Long with a crucial sack. And that is going to be a turnover on downs. Valhalla. So not only that, but they get the turnover. And now Valhalla, we'll see, with 2 timeouts left for Heroes FC, can they get that 1 extra first down and put this one away? The pressure coming. It is incomplete. Greg Lloyd with the swat to the turf. Nice game from Mel Blunt. Had a sack. Look at that base as they try to stop Jim Brown, who spun out of 1 man, grabbed 2. Jim Brown, for such a big body, is incredibly elusive. Minute 14 remaining. Valhalla up by 8. And it's 3rd and 8. Can Heroes FC get that stop? Get 1 more chance. To Brown, and he is gobbled up behind the line, and Heroes uses their final timeout to stop the clock at 1:11. Cornelius Bennett, the hero for Heroes right there. And they will punt. Reggie Roby. What a comeback, down 31-3. For Heroes, and that ball, ooh, that is not a great break. Amazing pin inside the 5 by Reggie Roby. So Heroes FC, you're talking about a hero, they're going to need a performance, a hero performance from Steve Young. 98 yards to go. Out of the pistol, pressure coming. Young releases, gets a bit of room, but not out of bounds to Mike Quick. Gain of 6, they're going to have to hurry. 54 seconds left. A little bit of space now, not much more. 10 catches for Mike Quick today. Sensational on 12 targets. 48 seconds. He waits. Looks again, going down left side, and it is incomplete. Romanowski read that, and the linebacker came over as Talib was shuffling back to cover Tim Brown.
Hot, short,
4.
short. Check.
Trio wideouts left. Tomlinson behind him. I'm guessing he'll be in a blocking mood. And he does just that. And it's deep. Double, triple, 4 coverage. That was just almost as a Hail Mary there. As all you saw nothing but black and teal Valhalla jerseys. 4th and 4. They got to go for it. 41 seconds. Does Steve Young have another first down in him to keep this alive?
Check, west.
Out of the shotgun.
Check, 32.
Barry the lone wideout on the right.
Check, 17.
Steve Young.
Check.
Surveying that defense.
Go.
Cancels the lone safety. He drops back. He knows it's going deep. There's Young. Waits, stands tall. It is deep. There's a flag, though. Mike Quick. I think he grabbed it, but was called for holding on Heroes FC. And they accept it. On 4th down, interesting call. So now it is 4th and 8.
Nebraska.
Pinbacks now in their own end zone. 36 seconds left.
Check 17.
On the holding call to right guard Wisniewski.
Hike.
Young. Not much room to go, and he shuffles to the right, and it is incomplete. And with 31 seconds left, Valhalla, all their timeouts, really, they just got to take a knee. Or will they go for more? They're going for more points. Mike Vick under center. Trying to pad those stats. 6 men on that line. Knowing the run is likely coming. Yeah, Bennett bucked his Mecklenburg, 0 coverage, and taking the knee was Vick. A little bit of a tease there. Looked like he was lining up to maybe take one more play. But it should just be the knee with no timeouts left to use. At the end of this game, we'll bring on Dan Esposito, my usual broadcast partner, coaching Heroes FC, who I'm sure he will be heartbroken after coming back from a 31-3 deficit and making it so close. A couple of fourth down calls that didn't go his way and 2-point conversions. Valhalla will pick up its first win of the season, and it is over. Valhalla 40, Heroes FC 32. We'll come back now, and I will bring in our guest and my usual broadcast partner, Dan Esposito. What a finish to that ball game to wrap up week 4 in the American Football Legends League. Andy McNamara and Dan Esposito. Dan, you must be a mess. What a comeback, though. Down by so much at halftime, lost by 8 at the end, but you had a shot. You came back. I will give you credit, my friend. That was a heck of a march back to near victory.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to fire my offensive coordinator. I don't think he has a full grasp of the playbook yet. So I'm going to make some adjustments, but our team really battled back. Second half, really started calling some options and some hot routes outside of the playbook that I think freed up our receivers to make some catches. Still having a tough time running the ball, but we're going to try to get that fixed as well. Maybe look at the free agency market, see if there's any offensive linemen out there we can pick up. And, we've got a great running back in Ladanian. He's just not finding much room right now. So, yeah, tough one. I mean, we were on the 1 yard line, couldn't punch it in, settled for a field goal. Two tries to run, one. Maybe we ran it 3 times. I can't remember, but had to settle for a field goal and came down at the very end. We were down by 8. Young missed a guy wide open in the end zone, threw it into some traffic. Unfortunately, our guy couldn't come up with the ball and had to settle for another L. And hopefully this is the last loss we have this season. We turn it around and we're in the, heading toward the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing of the AFLL. You can score in bunches. It can be close. You're never out of a game. And the parity, we're starting to see that. So Valhalla gets their first win. Dan and the Heroes FC so close, but Dan, you will be back on the call with me and a little less stressful of a game of the week next Monday, and you can get back into it a little bit. So hopefully after a win.
Awesome. All right. Looking forward to next week.
All right. For Dan Esposito, for the IKS crew, I'm Andy McNamara. You've been watching the American Football Legends League Game of the Week.